Okay, let's do this. Hello, people. Another beautiful day. Yep. Hope your five senses work, health, and strength is good or excellent. What? On a Friday, February 9th. What's up, Steam Deck fans? What's up, Orange Pie fans? What's up with it? Alright. I know you guys waiting on your orange pie. It's coming. Anyway, listen to this for all you Linux users. And listen to this. Critical bootloader vulnerability in shim impacts nearly all Linux distros. Okay. Critical bootloader vulnerability in shim impacts nearly all Linux distros. Says here, the maintainers of shim have released version 15.8 to address 6 security flaws, including a critical bug that could pave the way for remote code execution under specific circumstances. Says here, track as CVE 2340 40547. Then it says in parentheses CVSS score 9.8. Close parentheses. It says the vulnerability could be exploited to achieve a secure boot bypass. Bill DeMercapie of the Microsoft Security Response Center MSRC has been credited with discovering and reporting the bug. It says major Linux distribution that use shim, such as Debian, Red Hat, Suse, and Ubuntu, have all released advisories for the security flaw. It says here shim, the HTTP boot support. Then it says in parentheses HTTP boot.c, close parentheses, says trust attackers control values when parsing an HTTP response, leading to a complete control out-of-bound write primitive. Oracle Alan Coppersmith noted in a message shared on the open source security mailing list OSS Security. Says here, DeMercapie, in a post shared on Twitter late last month, said the vulnerability exists in every Linux bootloader signed in the past decade. Shim refers to a trivial software package that's designed to work as a first stage bootloader on Unified Extensible Firmware Interface UEFI systems. Then it says firmware security firm Elysium said CVE 2023-4547 stems from HTTP protocols handling leading to an out-of-bound write that can lead to complete system compromise. Then it says in a hypothetical attack scenario, a threat actor on the same network could leverage the flaw to load a vulnerable shim boot loader or a local adversary with adequate privilege to manipulate data on the EFI partition. Okay? Says here, an attacker could perform an MITM, that's man in the middle attack, and intercept HTTP traffic between the victim and the HTTP server, because HTTP means a hypertext transfer protocol. Right? Says here, a server used to serve files to support HTTP boot. The company added the attacker could be located on any network segment between the victim and the legitimate server. It says here, that said, obtaining the ability to execute code during the boot process, which occurs before the main operating system starts, grant the attacker carte blanche access to deploy a stealthy bootkit that can give near total control over the compromised host. Says here, the 5 other vulnerability fixed in shim version 15.8 are below. CVE 234546, 4548, 4549, 4550, 40. That's 4551. So that's 40551 2. Yeah, you get the point. The 4546 is out of bound read when printing error message result in a denial of service DOS condition. And then for 4548 is buffer overflow in shim when compiled for a 32-bit process that can lead to a crash or data integrity issues during the boot phase. And then 549 out of bound read in the authenticode function that could permit an attack to trigger a DOS by providing a malformed binary. And then that's 550 out of bound read when validating secure boot advanced targeting. And then it says SBAT, information that could result in information disclosure. And then 4551, the last one, out of bound reads when parsing MZ binaries leading to a crash or possible exposure of sensitive data. Yeah. And then here's the last paragraph. It says an attacker can exploit this vulnerability, gains control of the system before the kernel is loaded, which means they have privilege to access and the ability to circumvent any control implemented by the kernel and operating system. Lipsium noted. And then it says, found this article interesting. Follow us on Twitter, LinkedIn. Yeah. So let's see. This affects Debian, Red Hat, Suse, and Ubuntu. And these network security experts, they got on it. Okay. And it means that an attacker, once they get inside your system, man, they can manipulate or do whatever, or even take control of the system and shut it down. Yeah. This is why these network security professionals, they're trained to do this, you know, meaning that they took the network security certification test, then they took the cloud security, then they took probably Cisco or Microsoft to learn all this stuff. But yeah, they're on it, man. And this was all about protecting the consumer, you know, because the average consumer don't know computers at all. They might want to use it, but they don't know like the ins and outs of it. So these security professionals, they caught wind of it, and they're letting the Linux community know about it. So yeah, and they fix it. They provide a patch for it. I'm sure this is 15.8. So that means there should be another patch coming out after that to really secure it, you know. So yeah, and then it affects the bootloader. It says affects the bootloader sign in for the past decade. Past decade. Let's see. This is 2024, so 2023, 2, 1, 20, 18, 19, 17. 16, probably 15. It's all those operating systems on the Linux on Linux. Yeah, it affected those. So look, it's even a Microsoft Security Response Center that responded to this too. So Linux and Microsoft is working together to like keep the world safe, keep the U.S. safe from attacks. So yeah, they were on it. These security professionals, man, they know their stuff. So yeah. They're very good at it. Turn the slide on real quick. Yeah. Affects Debian, Red Hat, Suse, that's S-U-S-E, and Ubuntu have all released advisories for the security flaw. Yeah. I'm sure Valve caught a wind of this too, so the entire Linux community probably know about this now, so they'll probably be working right now to try to fix it. Yeah. HTTP, hypertext transfer protocol, or hypertext transfer protocol, one of the two. Yeah, with this tech stuff, you got to get the acronyms down. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, this affected 551, 550, 549, 548, and 546. And that's CVSS score 5.3, 7455, and 71. Yeah. These network security specialists, man, they work around the clock, you know, because they know an attack can come from anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, man. So you Linux gamers, you're safe for now. until the next attack is next vulnerability is discovered, you know. Yeah. This networking stuff. Let's see. What, there's seven layers to a computer network. Physical, data, network, transport, session, was it application, presentation, something like that. If I remember. Anyway, yeah, man. Yeah, these guys, they work around the clock though to discover this stuff, you know. Yeah, so that's so when you see your Windows is getting update, you know why. Because some companies, they pay hackers to attack the software to see if they find any vulnerability, and some people, they just hack because that's what they love doing, you know. So yeah. So yeah. But for right now, you Linux users, you're safe for now. Anyway, yeah, but that's the news I got to report on this though. On the Linux side of things. Yeah. Let's see, anything else? That's it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still Star Wars, Star Trek fan, or Dark Side. Peace.